So, happy Christmas everyone, Merry Christmas. This is Ronnie. We're going to talk about how to survive Christmas as a raw vegan, or how to go through Christmas as a raw vegan, or even a vegan. Some of this will apply to, or anyone on a different diet. So, for some of you, you might just be having Christmas on your own, with your own family, something that you're comfortable with, they know how you eat or whatever, so it's not a big deal. But for some of you, it may be the first time that you're going to be around your family and you're either eating vegan or raw vegan or something kind of different than everyone else. So you're going to have a lot of, potentially that could be a difficult situation for some of you. Some of you might look forward to that kind of situation. You might like that extra attention that it might give you, or the confrontation that it might bring, or whatever. But a lot of you maybe are thinking, this could be a little bit awkward, a little bit uncomfortable. So we'll go through a little bit of that in this little video. And I think the first thing to point out probably is that you'll get a lot of questions about what you're doing, and you'll get a lot of concern and worry. And I would suggest to you that we hear people ask us about our diet, and we assume that they're genuinely interested in our diet and they want to learn about it. And you might feel kind of excited, or you might feel glad or something that someone in your family seems interested and wants to learn more about it. The reality is that they don't really want to learn more about it. It's just a way to communicate with you, a way to have a conversation, a way to show their concern or interest in what you're doing. Very rarely are they actually saying, hey, I want to learn about what you're doing. I want to see what you're doing. If that is the case, then that's great. But probably the dinner table or whatever isn't the best place to kind of discuss that kind of thing. And it's not really a place, I don't think, to try and proselytize or lecture or tell everyone else what to do. Maybe I've done that in the past, I don't know, but it's not really the place. And you've got to realise that it's not really what people are asking. So the kind of questions that people ask, let's go through basically the common questions, which is, they might, for a start, you might go in and buy, when you're buying your food, and people ask, well, that's a lot of fruit, and why have you got so much fruit, and why are you eating all this fruit and all this stuff? And you could use that as an opportunity to kind of say to someone, well, I've changed this raw vegan diet, and it's a diet where we eat 100% raw food, and it works really amazingly, and so many people doing it, and you need to do it, and there's it reverses heart disease, and did you know that all of this food you're eating there is causing heart disease and causing cancer, and it's killing you? You could go down that route, but I would kind of suggest that you don't do that. So when people question you about your food or your diet, the one thing I would suggest doing is just treat it like this is something that you are trying out, you're experimenting with, you've heard some good things about it, you're getting some good results, and this is what you're trying for right now. And maybe you won't do it in the future, and maybe it is a bit crazy, who knows, but this is what you're doing for now. And let them know you're not trying to tell them to do it, you're not trying to force it on them, but this is what you want to do for now. So that is a way of basically taking away this kind of confrontation thing that can happen when it becomes about two different camps with two different ideas. Because your non-vegan or raw vegan friend, or non-raw vegan friends, your non-vegan friends for sure, they don't have a leg to stand on. They're already uncomfortable about their diet. Deep down, everyone is uncomfortable about the fact that they eat animals that get killed. Everyone's uncomfortable about that. And so you are actually doing the better thing. And they know that on some level. You're doing the right thing. You're also eating fruits and vegetables, and they know that's healthy. So, and this is an interesting thing in the book, The Pleasure Principle. Yeah, The Pleasure Principle, Doug Lisle and Alan Goldhammer. And they talked about this, and they said that when people make inquiries about your diet, there's two kind of questions. And one of the, or two kind of people, sorry. And one of them is a person that they do not know about health and diet much and everything. Like my dad's next door neighbour, who is, has type 2 diabetes and eats unhealthily and goes to the doctor and whatever. And once he came in, he said, what are you up to? And he's not the brightest guy. I don't want to be nasty or whatever, but he's probably not the brightest guy. If you were to test him, he probably wouldn't come out at the top 10% of the population in terms of intelligence. But he said to me one time, what are you up to? And I said, well, I've just come back from an event where we were teaching people how to reverse their diabetes or get rid of their diabetes, right? And this is a guy with diabetes, and he was like, oh, right, interesting. And just like it didn't even take it in, didn't even hear it, didn't even, what I mean? Or if I was to eat some fruit and I'm like, hey David, this is really good for your diabetes, it's like he doesn't hear it, doesn't register it, doesn't monitor, just moves on to the next thing, right? So some people that are asking you, they don't think what you're doing is better than them. They kind of feel sorry for you. They're like, why the hell are you doing that? Like this is the healthy diet right here. It's like a guy years ago when I was in work and he was drinking a big big sugary drink, and he was like, why are you not drinking this? This is healthy, So people have different ideas of what they think is healthy, and if they think what they're doing is healthy and they're sure of that in some way, they're not, they're kind of puzzled as to why the hell would you change your diet? What's that all about? So they're just making an inquiry out of puzzlement, right? So they're just like, they don't understand. So you just let them know, well, this is something I'm trying out, seems to be working for me, and I'm enjoying it, and at the moment I'm going to keep doing this, or respectfully I'm going to eat this, and you guys do what you like, But the second type of question is more from some level of embarrassment, interestingly enough, which is the idea that a person is asking you more about it to try and find the mistakes or problems in it or challenges in it or whatever, because they're worried personally that you have kind of went up in it's hard to describe this, but you have kind of become a better person. You have raised your game now. It's like if you turned up with your friendship group and all of a sudden you have a much better car than everyone else, or you have a much bigger house or something else, and it's the first time that's happened. It's that feeling of like, oh wait, this person is different to what I thought they were. This person has elevated. This person is at a higher standard now. So they're going through that, and they're kind of a little bit maybe embarrassed that, they're eating all this unhealthy food. They know this is different. They know it's unhealthy. They know what they're doing isn't working for them. And they know that what you're doing is kind of better. They're just not at that place yet to make any change. But they're kind of like a bit embarrassed at the fact that they think that you are looking down on them now. So once again, when these questions come, concerns, comments, about vitamins and about proteins, if someone says, where do you get your protein? It's not really a legitimate question as to they want to actually know the science of nutrition and protein and all that. Because if they did, they can look in a textbook, right? And you can find vegan comments about a vegan diet is suitable for all stages of life and stuff like that. It's not really an opportunity for you to open up and give them a lecture on protein. But what you could say is, well, this is what I'm doing right now, this is what I'm eating, and it seems to be going okay for me now, and I've been learning some things that seem to suggest to me that I can get enough protein from what I'm eating, surprising as that may sound. And so I'm experimenting with this right now. And if you'd like to talk more about this, maybe we can arrange a time and we'll meet up and I can tell you what I've been learning, you know. So you can open it up like that and say to them, hey, if you want to learn more about it, we'll sit down and I'll talk to you about it, but maybe this environment isn't right now for speaking about it. The same with all the other questions, you know. Do you have to use supplements, vitamins, all this stuff. Once again, you can just act like you're still working it out, you're learning, you're trying it out, and you know, it's not right, and you can even use all the stuff like, hey, it's something that was right for me at the right time. It's something I've become really interested in, and I totally understand that you're not at that place yet. That's not something you're looking to. You've got so many things in your life after all, and you've got all these things going on for you, and you know it's. So you want to make them feel a bit better sometimes about the fact that they've not made that change yet, but also open up to the fact that if you want to speak about this seriously and you want to learn more about it, I can share with you some information, and from what I've seen, this could really, you know, in terms of your health and everything, it could change your life. It could make a really big impact. To turn it into a debate with someone that is completely uninformed and ill-equipped and everything, firstly, they'll shut down the debate very quickly. So if you start going on about protein and amino acids and all the blah, 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 they'll shut that down very quickly. They probably aren't even taking it in. They're not really even listening because they weren't really, often, they're not really asking. So you have to work that out. If the person is really asking, they'll maybe ask you a couple of times, you know, and you can give a throwaway comment and see if they'll just leave you alone or if they'll keep going at it. But the important thing for you is to feel confident in what you're doing, to not feel like you have to justify it, and not feel like you have to explain it so much. And if they want you to explain it, you can say, well, listen, I've thought about this sometimes. This is a great line if you want to use it. I'm not saying you're going to do this, but you could say, well, if people ask you about their diet, you could say, well, actually, I teach people about this professionally. I give people advice and consultation on diet and nutrition. And if you like, we can set up a time. And because you're a friend, of course, I'll give you a discount. I've never really used that line, but I thought it would be a good one, you know, at some point to use that, you know, because once again, it's like, does the person really want to hear that? Usually they're not really ready to hear it yet. And I don't really think it's the right time. Now, I do think it's totally legitimate for you to share with your family members and friends the information you've learned. But you might want to qualify that first by saying, are you open to learning more about this thing? I've learned some stuff about health and nutrition that might be of interest to you. Can I share it with you? I've seen a film. It changed my life. Can I share it with you? It's really interesting. You know, that kind of thing. I think that's totally fair and fine to do. Invite them to an event. But to try and sabotage or hijack the family dinner or whatever to become a preacher, it's just going to make things uncomfortable. Some of you don't realize you're making things uncomfortable. Like some of you don't have that ability. Some people don't have that ability to feel what's happening in a room, and you just might go down that track. But the other thing is you might get people laughing at you, and I would just suggest once again, just laugh along. Don't get upset about this stuff. Just laugh along with it. Yeah, you're right. This is a crazy diet. This is weird. Whatever. Yeah. You know, just water off a duck's back, which apparently is a phrase that Americans aren't aware of. Water off a duck's back. So I don't think you want to get too deeply into these things. You know, at the same time, if you did go into the thing of lecturing people and all that happens is they stop listening to you. So if you make that mistake and you start going on about veganism and all that, and they just don't listen. They're just not interested in. And buying people vegan books and vegan things, like, they won't read it unless they're ready. You know, they're just not going to open up to it unless they're ready, or trying to force them to watch the Game Changers or whatever. I mean, these things might be good if they are open to doing that, if they're okay with that. If, you know, if people aren't open, if it's not the right time, they're not going to get there, and probably you're not the person they want to listen to about it. You know, when I started doing this, making this change, and then my mum came to the Fruit Festival, and she got to listen to Doug Graham and Rosalind and all these people, and then that opened her up. She sort of thought, these people know what they're talking about, and these people are real competent people. They're not crazy people. And I was going to say, well, Doug's a bit crazy, but I'm not going to say. No, it's not. I was just going to joke. But when she came home, she didn't speak to me and say, teach me more about this. She didn't say that. She went to listen to Dr. McDougall and Neil Barnard and all those people. She never really asked me. She never asked me any questions about this. She tells me what I should be doing, you know. So that's how it's going to go. So that's, hopefully that gives you some suggestions and tips for your Christmas and how to deal with that. And those really are the questions you're going to get. Some nutritional questions, some general questions about why you're doing it, and just questions of concern, worried about that you don't really know why you're doing it or what you're doing. So just all you're trying to do is just make them feel okay, you know, make them feel safe, whatever, and move on from that. But at the same time, you might want to ask them, if you would like to really learn more about this, I can send you more information. I can send you the information that I'm learning, and if they're open to it, that's great. So that's what I would suggest. I don't think you're gonna force this down anyone's throat and make it and make them really take it in. I don't think so. I don't know 100%, but I don't think so. Everyone's got their own focus, their own obsession, their own passion, their own hobbies, their own ideas, their own philosophy in life, and that is where they are. And for you to try and penetrate that through that helmet, that shield with your vegan or raw vegan message is gonna take time, and it's probably not going to be from you. It's going to be from them seeing your example and then speaking to someone else or learning from someone else. Weirdly enough, because that's just how we are as people. So anyway, I hope you all have a good time at Christmas, New Year. In terms of what to eat, quickly, just eat the same stuff you always eat. Like, just enjoy what you eat. If you want to make a Christmas recipe and all, there's plenty of recipes around. And you can do that. If you're like desperate for like a really complex gourmet recipe, then that's okay. But you want to get to a point where it's not a big deal for you to eat one of those things or not. I mean, I think, I don't know, my mum sometimes makes something a bit more raw gourmet thing, so that would be fine if it's there, and if not, then I'll just have the stuff that I have, that I enjoy. Fruits, vegetables, simple, and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your support over the year and watching the videos and enjoying them and commenting and liking them. I don't get that many comments, so it's quite easy for me to read them all and respond. And I do think about how to make the videos better. And I know that some of my videos are kind of long, so you probably cut out halfway through or way before that. But I will try and continue to improve them. Hope you have a great Christmas, and we'll see you in the next video.